Hello, and welcome to Connecting Jewish Grandparents, the Grandparent Podcast, where we come together to look at Torah truths to make us be the best grandparents that we can be. And I'm thrilled that you're here with me on this journey as we embark on a whole new Sefer in the Torah. This week we start the book called Vayikra. I want to say this with as much enthusiasm as I can. Well, one, because you're a loyal listener and I appreciate you're here. And please share it with other people so we have even more loyal listeners joining the importance of Jewish grandparenting. But this is the week, I guess, that people warned me from the beginning. But Sharona, what are you going to do when the Torah portions aren't as interesting? But Sharona, what are you going to do when it's only about like sacrifices, when there's no plot driving the story forward? What happens when there's no role models to be looking at in the Torah? What are you going to make a podcast about then? But don't you worry. Buckle up because we're in for a treat as usual. As I said, this portion is called Vayikra, and it means, and he called out. And this is the Almighty calling out to Moshe. So I want to start by framing it there, because what is it to call out? To call somebody, right? If you pick up the phone, you call them, you call out to them. That is the beginning of a connection, the beginning of a relationship. But it has to start somewhere. No one's a mind reader. You have to initiate that contact. And here it's the beauty of the divine doing that too. Moses, but you, my grandparent friends, it's for you to be making that call. So Vaikra, the Almighty calls out. And what does he tell Moshe? He said this Torah portion, every word, I think, is about the korbanot, the sacrifices, the details of how you do them, the ins and the outs, the intricacies. And you know what? They're not really very pretty. Each one is described of what sacrifice is brought, right? If I didn't say that, korban literally translates to sacrifice. These are animal sacrifices and flowers and like flour, like wheat flour, and bird sacrifices. And that's where we might feel like we've lost the grandparent connection because, well, there's definitely no sacrifices in that way today. And there is no Mishkan, tabernacle, and there's no Beit HaMikdash, holy temple. So it isn't relevant at all, right? Well, no, it is definitely relevant for a handful of reasons. First and foremost, if we had those, when they had them in the time of the Torah, these korbanot, these sacrifices were so powerful and so meaningful, and people were so validated and so fulfilled by doing them, as was the Almighty. It says for each one, "Reach nichoach l'Hashem," that it was a pleasing and fulfilling smell for the Almighty. But for the people who did it, it was like euphoric to be doing this, but it isn't for us today. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why we don't have it today, because we couldn't appreciate it and wouldn't understand it in the same way. And you might think, like, of course we wouldn't understand that in the same way. But if you had handed a biblical personality an Apple phone, like, why would, mine's not an Apple, it's an Android, but why would a smartphone be interesting or meaningful? There's no relationship to it. It's just a rectangle with the until you understand it and appreciate it and know it, then the newest Apple is the most exciting thing. And it is practically euphoric to get a new one and to understand that and unpack it and the technology and the latest apps and blah blah blah. So we can understand that those preferences have changed with time. Okay, but still, Sharona, how does this relate to grandparents? Well, I'll give you one more piece before I really dive in. I said that the word korban literally translates to sacrifice, but that is maybe not the right use of the word literal. Okay, but that's the English word that is used. Oh, they brought daily sacrifices. They brought a korban. But the word korban is karev. That's the shorish, the root of it, which means to come close. And this act of korbanot, the entire premise was lekarev, to be coming closer. Now, my grandparent friends, do you see where we might be going? No, I obviously am not recommending animal sacrifices, but I want to look at how these very detailed korbanot relate to mikarev, to becoming closer in your relationships with your loved ones. These korbanot, these sacrifices, the Torah details them so clearly, what you do, the frequency with which it's done, how it's done, where it stood. And on the one hand, for me, the details get a little overwhelming. But what's the opposite of that? Also, I'm kind of extreme in like not being a details person. The opposite of that is not having the details, not having the interest, not having the closeness. And we all know that that is not the goal, not what we would like. We want this closer relationship. So then let's look at the details. On the one hand, crucial hand, is looking at the details of your beloved grandchildren. What's interesting to them, and you showing interest in that too. Oh, they want to talk about baseball? Well, then you should know something about baseball if that's all they're thinking about. What are the pieces of the connection that are important here, right? But that's the framework. That's what we're going to look at, okay? If we want this korban, this closeness, we need the noticing the details, the small details that can bring us closer, the details of what are interesting to our grandchildren. Not everything. Obviously, you do not now need to become an expert in K-pop music. But if you know a little bit, you show a little bit of interest, well, that's so fulfilling to know that somebody cares about what you care about. It's noticing their details and making them important. All right, so that's noticing the details. These korbanot were brought with consistency. And consistency is in the biggest piece, maybe, as amazing as the Passover program, the Pesach experiencing that you might be looking forward to and funding, and hopefully the Israel trips aren't getting in the way of that, being able to leave Israel or come in. It's not in that 7 or 8 day festival that your relationship is hinged. It is on the tamid. It is the daily sacrifice. Maybe you're not calling your grandchild every day, but you're thinking about them every day, and you're calling them twice a week, once a week. It's that consistency in the connection. Okay, so it's the details, it's the consistency. And wait, there was a third I was gonna say. The details, the consistency. Oh, and the intent. What is your mindset about? Like I said, you don't need to become the expert in K-pop, but you do need to show where your head is for them. That you're showing, wait, this is my kavanah, this is my intention, right? If the korbanot were brought and the person like didn't care about what they were doing, then it was meaningless. So it's, all right, so that's the three. There we go. It's the consistency, it's the intent, and it's the attention to details that you as a grandparent are going to use as your korbanot, as your efforts to the karev, to come closer to your beautiful grandchildren. Now, if you have not yet, now is the time to sign up for becoming the grandparent you want to be. I am so excited about this course that I am offering right after Pesach through 6 weeks of counting the Omer to bring us to Shavuot. Each week is dedicated to a different of the Avot and Imaot. For example, with Avraham, we're going to spend a workshop experience looking at who Avraham was, looking at the text, looking at how he sees vision, and finding our own incredible vision for who we are individually as grandparents. Each week is a different one, and this cohort will be meeting on Zoom. It's for you to be with each other too. So it's you to be with me, Master Educator Sharona, Rabbanit Sharona Hassan, you to be connecting with each other, and you to be connecting with our Torah personalities to become the grandparent that you want to be, that maybe you never even realized you had the potential for. So please sign up or ask me questions about it. I would love to give further clarity. This is new. This is very exciting. Share this with friends. And it is just as relevant to somebody who is not yet a grandparent, but it will be soon, please God, and to somebody who's been a grandparent for more than 20 years. It doesn't change the age of your grandchildren. It changes in the details. Are you doing coloring pages with them? Are you having meaningful conversations with them? Are you helping them with their own children as you become a great grandparent? But it's about you and your mindset and your identity and your struggles and your overcoming. So please sign up, encourage a friend to come. I actually have a discount code because I want you to bring a friend. I think it'll be a lot more fun for you if you bring a friend that you have like a, what's the word? An accountability buddy in it that you're like, oh, are you coming to Sharona's class? Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna be there. So sign up, encourage friends to sign up, and spread the word because you will be the grandparent that you want to be. But it takes some thought, it takes some effort, and it definitely takes the help of our Torah. Please join me.